Now, Anne Robinson's here with your points of view.
Hello, good evening, Happy New Year, and it's
Yes,
nice...
about the new year, I note the date shown at the end of programmes made in 1990 is written MCMXC. Surely the more correct way should be MXM. Yours sincerely, David Dawson.
Well, in fact, Mr.
He's
Dawson,
quite right. MXM follows the sensible, established principle of Roman numerology that a discrete digit, that is I, V, X, L, C, or D, can stand before any higher digit to indicate that the higher is reduced by the lower.
Thank you, Mr. Hickling.
Yes, but there's also the question of the date change at 5 a.m. the following day. Thus, the IPCRES file, Radio Times, page 89, billed as starting at 12:10 a.m., not 0010 on New Year's Eve. Not only was it 24 hours adrift...
Mr. Hickling, I think you might be losing a few of us, so can we just go back to the question of 1990 Roman style?
You mean MXM?
Yes, MXM in your book, and I have to say many other viewers' books, but the BBC says it has accepted the MCMXC way of writing 1990, but either is equally correct. I think we'll take a commercial break.
I think I'm wearing no knickers. I'm really in a spot. They really are so comfortable. I can't tell if they're on or not. I think I'm wearing no knickers. The trouble is, you see, they are so smooth and silky. They feel, well, just like me. I think I'm wearing no knickers. Just let me check to be sure. Oh, I am wearing no knickers. More comfortable than ever before.
Actually, a carrot commercial breakdown, which you variously described as...
offensive, vulgar, and in extremely bad taste.
which nearly always guarantees that someone else writes to say.
It was the funniest thing on TV, well, in 1989.
Or, as Mr. Hickling in Newbury would say...
MCM, LXXX, 1X, which incidentally...
No, Mr. Hickling, I'll cue you when I need you again. Finally on carrot, Marcus McCullum asks...
Those carrot commercials looked identical to the real thing, so did they shoot them all over again, or just put Jasper over the punchline?
Both, Mr. M. Right, back we must go to the 12th of December, 1989. Mr. Hickling?
MCM, LXXX, 1X.
Thank you, Mr. Hickling. Now, letters just too late for our programme before Christmas, but now too numerous to ignore. It was the Screen One First and Last, written by Michael Frayn, starring Joss Ackland, Pat Haywood and Patricia Routledge, and tells the story of a gentle giant called Alan Holly, who, in far from good health, indeed nearing his end, nevertheless decides to walk from Land's End to Johnny O'Groats, leaving family and neighbours to row, gossip, and generally live on their nerves as they chart his painfully slow progress on a journey they all agree was a daft idea in the first place. Huge praise for the acting, the wit and sensitivity of the script, and the highly original storyline. What a relief, says John Scores.
To climb above crotch level into the fresh air, still to be found above Potter country. Thoroughly enjoyed. More, please.
Jenny Peterson was even more carried away.
It made me glad to hand over my licence fee. What performances, what a screenplay, what a soundtrack, what editing.
Etc., etc. What an inspiration, says Pamela Moss.
For all those viewers, myself included, who harbour similar impossible dreams.
Much praise too, incidentally, for the 3-minute intermission, but a final word on the subject from Marjorie Heriot, who was even more carried away than Jenny Peterson, and orders.
For giving us first and last, just run up those stairs and give them upstairs a great big hug.
Marjorie, I'll do most things for viewers, but there are limits. In fact, Marjorie, those people you want me to hug are too dozy to have worked out when this wonderful play is going to be repeated. Anyway, here's a little bit.
What would you do if you were 2/3 of the way there? All right. Thank you.
Joss Ackland in the brilliant First and Last. Right, on to matters of an animal nature, and first Guns and Wives, which showed how Lord Clifford, the 14th Baron of Chudley, pays the lecky and maintenance bill on his stately home. It's now a game park. but the shooting off game you did not like. How can the BBC justify showing such a programme? Asked Janice Conevy.
I was appalled to see birds shot and wounded, crawling and writhing in agony, waiting for the dog to fetch them.
Mrs Hazel Orty also thought it immensely cruel to see those beautiful creatures writhing in pain, but makes the very sensible point.
What better way of convincing people of the cruelty of blood sports?
And enormous praise, too, for Arena's Animal Night, an ambitious 5-hour presentation exploring all aspects of our relationship with animals. And I must say, a most original band of presenters it used. I mean, wouldn't breakfast time benefit if this one reviewed the papers in the mornings?
Hello. Here's what some of the papers are saying today.
Animals.
Well, that's hardly fair, is it? When was the last time you heard of a koala bear knocking down an old lady and urinating in her cocoa? And here's another one.
Bloody swine.
Well, correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm not sure I can recall the last time a party of Welsh saddlebacks ran up and down the decks of a cross-channel ferry draped in Union Jack singing the birdie song and sticking firecrackers up their bottoms. For what's really happening, you have to turn to hare and hounds.
Soccer yobs behave like humans.
Good night.
Mr Portcallum. Now, a word from Alexander Wordley, who was very annoyed.
Dear sir, I was very much looking forward to the Carla Lane play, Happy Christmas, I Love You.
This being about the middle-class couple in Liverpool, him very boring, pompous and smug, talking out loud to himself in the lounge about what a devoted, efficient and obedient wife he's got, but her in the kitchen stuffing the turkey and telling us about all sorts of naughty afternoons in the Stork Hotel, which he knows nothing about.
Yes, but how extremely disappointing it was. Michael Williams' part was straight from Alan Bennett, and Gwen Taylor, the wife, was obviously a straight copy of Shirley Valentine. There is nothing amusing or profound about this play. It was only the clever casting of talented and popular actors that made it bearable.
On the other hand, talented and popular actors with a script nobody complains about. You didn't miss it, did you? The Jolly Boys outing.
What are we supposed to do about it?
Well, I'd switch it off if I was you, Del. The main petrol line runs right underneath there.
Lightning.
Someone get some water!
Good idea. Water, we need loads of water.
And his coach fitted with a fire distinguisher.
Abandon shit. Come on.
And what about that time he entered one of your paintings in a competition and you won first prize in the under 15 category?
All right. Look, I agree that Del gets a bit out of hand. But I think it's unfair to say that everything he touches goes wrong. Our coach has just blown up.
And let us move quickly on to New Year's Eve. Clive James on the 80s. Mr Hickling?
MMM.
Thank you, Mr H. Anyway, this was billed, and I quote, as a wry and witty review of the decade, but you didn't think so, did you, Mr Buchan in Manchester?
I would like them to tell us, the paying public, how much Clive James paid them to put on 2 hours of complete garbage.
On the other hand, Pam Stone says...
We all thought it was brilliant. What a great way to start the new year.
Jane Suter, aged 15, from Kenilworth, also enjoyed it immensely, but adds...
There were several occasions when I could hardly bear to watch. On each of these, a tall, toffee-nosed so-called model tiptoed down all those steps to stand next to Clive and present awards while he drooled over her. Of course, I'm speaking of the awful Jerry Hall.
Of course, Jane. Finally, Ski Sunday. You are delighted it's back, particularly as snow there is little. And 2 members of the North Staff Ski Club say...
Therefore, dear Anne, please put pressure on the weathermen up on the roof in their little tin hut to give a weather update for various resorts.
Indeed, Mr and Mrs Bailey, but you must turn to page 590 on CFAX. Anyway, I'll leave you with a spectacular little bit of Ski Sunday. Oh, and by the way, before you write in about the new set, wasn't my idea. Good night. You're simply the